Attention all the student of 5th semester electrical for the subject elements of estimating and costing. The subject name is nowadays changed. Before this semester the subject was taught as estimating and costing, but nowadays estimating, costing and contracting, this contractors of contractor word is added now in the syllabus, and there are certain theoretical portion added for the contractorship. So as an electrical engineer, whenever you go in field, you have to work for installation of electrical work, and in that the contractorship is necessary for getting the contract of the work. So here, according to the syllabus content, the topic number 1, it is states that explain elements of estimating and costing and purpose of contract documents, purchase order and work order. So here elements, first we define what is the estimating and costing. So estimating is the preparation of list of items which are required for execution of a particular electrical installation work. There are so many types of installation work in electrical engineering. Say for example, the domestic installation are there, residential installations are there, then commercial installations are there, then outdoor installations are there, then installation of HT line, LT line and substation up to the distribution range. So in this particular topic subject rather, we will discuss all type of estimates for the different type of installation. But before entering in the subject, we will discuss the first topic, in which the theoretical portion given the definition of estimating and costing. So according to definition, estimating costing is the process of preparation of list of material with specification and the cost for execution of any electrical installation work. So this is a simple definition of estimating and costing. So whenever we go through this, so there are certain elements involved for preparation of this estimate. So there are basically 5 elements are there. First element is that we should know the quantity of work or quantum of work to be done. Second, we should know the technical specification of the work. Third, we should know the technical detailed drawing of the work, that is the drawing, engineering drawing of the work. Then fourth is we should know the cost of the material which we require to include in the estimate. And the fifth one is the type of charges which are required to be necessary to be taken in the estimate. So these 5 points are the basic element of estimating and costing. So if we know all these 5 points, then it will become easy to prepare the estimate. Now the further there are different types of estimates. So type of estimates we can have the different types, and in these different types we have the type of estimate, that is the when we list out the material, then the charges are given according to the different type of charges. We have the charges such as labor charge, which are taken as the 15% of the cost of material of the estimate, that is labor charge. Then there is a overhead charges are there. So overhead charges required for purchasing such item which are necessary to operate the project, such as stationery charges, water charges, electricity charges, charges required for communication, charges required for different office work. So they are coming under overhead charges. Then the charges we are taken tools and plant charges. Whatever type of tools and plants, means machinery required for execution of work, we have to purchase them. So the charges taken as TNP charges, they are taken as 12% of the cost of material. Before that I have discussed overhead charges. So overhead charges are taken 10% of the cost of material. So after tools and plant charges, there is a storage and transportation charges. Storage and transportation charges means at the site of work we have to send the material from the store. So we want to prepare a temporary store at the work site also, and main store at the office of the execution work head department of the execution work site. So these two stores are to be maintained for precautions to avoid any type of damage or theft of material. So we have to put the watch and ward for the materials, and put the proper shade in which the materials are safely kept for protection against any type of natural hazards. So this is these charges are called as the storage and transportation charges, and they are taken as 12% on the cost of material. After that, the charges are come, they are contingency charges. So the contingency charges, they are prepared for uh, meeting out, they are taken for meeting out the unknown expenditures which may occur during the time of execution of work. So in this particular contingency charges, there is sometime the suppose some accident may occur at the site of work. So for the medical help to the workers or the persons who is working, we required money. So we meet out it from the contingency charges. Similarly, some tools are suppose broken or damaged during the work, then we have to repair that particular tool. So for that also we require TNP charges. Similarly, for inspection of work, if higher authorities come and you have to entertain them for their stay and all this food facility and other facility, so they can be meet out from the contingency charges. Similarly, contingency charges also required whenever there is a delay in procurement of material from the railway station or the transport agency, then there is a demurrage or the penalty we have to pay for according to condition of purchase. So these type of charges, they are coming under contingency charges, and their percentage is 3 to 7% charge we have to take for contingency. Maximum 7% and minimum 3% we have to take. Now type of estimate, as I have discussed, one estimate is prepared, that is for the execution of new work, new installation work, that is called the main estimate. In main estimate, there is a, if there is a shortage of money or shortage of some work is there in completion of that particular project completely, then we have to go for a estimate that is called supplementary estimate. Suppose main estimate you have prepared for 10 lakhs rupees, and when you start work and you find that the work required to be completed in 12.5 lakhs rupees. So it is 2.5 lakhs rupees is extra expenditure which is not you have taken in the main estimate. So in that case, this supplementary estimate of 2.5 lakhs you have to prepare. So this is called supplementary estimate. Then there is a annual maintenance estimate for the particular type of installation. So they are called as annual maintenance estimate. Then there is a another maintenance estimate is there, that is called revised maintenance estimate. So this estimate, which is a supplementary estimate, this is limited for the limited money which is to be increased in the increase in work due to shortage of funds. So that is called the estimate which is supplementary estimate, means the amount is not large. But when there is a large amount difference is seen in the estimate, suppose work is of of the installation is say 10 lakh rupees, and when you actually call the tender, and the cost come about to be 1.5 times more than the whatever you prepare the estimate. In that case, you have to prepare the additional estimate. So that additional estimate is also called the revised estimate. So you have to revise the estimate for the first time, because whenever you prepare the main estimate, whatever rates you are taken, they are according to current schedule of rates or according to market rate. And suppose there is a delay in the work takes place, and due to which in the market the cost of the materials increase one, two times, three times, then there your estimate will also change according to that cost. So you have to prepare the revised estimate again for the same work because the cost have changed. So this is rarely happen because normally when we prepare the estimate, then we consider all the present current rate of the market for the materials. But in sometimes what happen, if there is a delay in project, suppose you prepare the estimate for original work in this month of September, and if work is delayed up to January next year 22, so there is a big difference of 6 months is there. So 6 month the cost whatever you have taken previously, it will change in the market. So according to that, if you see the new rates of the material, then you will find that the cost of the estimate it is increased to either double or 1.5 times. So you have to revise the estimate. So in that case you have to prepare a revised estimate for the work. So that is called revised estimate. So what are the types of estimate? First is the main estimate which we prepare for the installation of work. Second is supplementary estimate which is for the minor changes in the work. And then third is the annual maintenance estimate for the maintenance purpose. And fourth is the revised estimate. So these are the types of estimate that you have to note down. So now according to other points in the syllabus, we have to discuss the different type of charges. Charges I have already discussed with you, and in this particular first topic only this much we have to study. Once again I have just read out the content of the topic. The first topic, that is the course outcome number 1, explain elements of estimating and costing, and prepare the contract documents, purchase order and work order. Then second, इसमें learning outcomes that will come, describe the meaning of purpose of estimating and costing that I have explained you. Then in this the contents of the detailed contents are there, elements and costing, elements of estimating and costing, and meaning of and the purpose of estimate. Then there is a rough estimate is there. Rough estimate I have not discussed with all these type of estimate. So rough estimate is there, that is the estimate which is not final, but it is a tentative estimate which is just we prepare on the rough. After preparing rough estimate, then we prepare the main estimate, so or detail estimate. Then supplementary estimate, annual maintenance estimate and revised estimate, this I have discussed. Then elements of estimating and costing I have discussed, list of the material and their inspection, then different type of charges. So there is a storage charges I have discussed, overhead charges we discussed, labor charges we discussed, tools and plant charges we have discussed, and contingency charges we have discussed. So these are all types of content in this. Now here the outcome number 2 for learning outcome, elaborate the method of contracting and purchase procedure. Now this is a article in this particular first content topic, and that I will also discuss just now. That contracting means what happen normally for every type of estimate we have to require to execute that work. Suppose installation of internal wiring in a building, a 1 BHK flat is there, in which you have to go for the electrical wiring, that is the non-commercial and non-industrial, that is called domestic wiring. So we have to put some agency for doing that work or execution of that work. So that agency is given the order with the help of the contract document. So we have to contact some contractor who have experience in doing all these type of works, and according to his experience and the skill of their workers, we will allow to work this particular person for the contract of the work, and according to that the contract is given to this particular person. So contract documents normally prepared on the basis of the estimate prepared, but contract document it is a written documents in which we just satisfied the terms and condition of our work. We also specify the types and specification of the and the quality of the material which is to be used by the contractor, and time of work completion it is also given in this contract document. Then in contract document some other conditions of payment of the money for the bills, they are also taken in the contract documents. According to that we will discuss the matter with the contractor, and contractor if agree with your terms and condition for the work, then only you will allow the contractor or you give the work order to start the work of the installation. So normally in contract preparation of the contractor document, there is a, it depends upon types of work. Types of work mean the volume of work. So estimate they may be of suppose for if you go for internal wiring estimate for a 1 BHK flat, then estimate may be 2 lakhs 3 lakhs rupees according to your design. And for higher work if you go, then estimate go to 10 lakhs rupees 50 lakhs rupees. If you want to go the outdoor substation or HTLT line or any big installation work, installation of big transformer and big lines of high voltage 11 kV or 33 kV, then these estimates will go in crores of rupees. So this contract document preparation, it is all depends of the volume of work on the cost of work. So according to cost of work there are different type of tender documents we prepare, and according to those tender documents we will invite the tenders from the different contractor, and those who are satisfied your condition of work and the specification of your work, then you only allow the contractor to work with you. So contractor work is the preparation of the documents which are contained number of technical specification according to Indian electricity rule and the rules and regulation of the state government for the labor laws and the working condition of the site, then the safety of the workers, then the payment condition of the amount of bills for different phases of the work completed by the person. So these are all points to be considered in the tender documents. Then your condition of payments, it is also to be maintained. Then site details you have to also maintain in that, and whether the contractor are agree to execute the work according to the site conditions or not. These all the points which are given in the tender documents. And tender documents it is a normally a documents of 20 to 25 pages booklet is there, in which all the regulation and specification of material and types of work and the nature of work it is given in that estimate document of the contract document. And according to the satisfaction of your own and the satisfaction of the contractor who is taking this contract for execution of work, you have to go for its final tendering. So tender also given nowadays in digital era, nowadays e-tenders are most applicable, and whatever tender documents you prepared you upload on your computer network, and the peoples who are interested for the work, they will directly submit the estimate online. Okay, before this digitalization of the e-tendering, the tenders were called from the newspaper. So in newspaper we have to publish the notice, that is called tender notice. So these tenders are of different types. For suppose those material or work which can be done by the local people, so we can give the advertising of the tender notice in the local newspaper. and if it is suppose covering larger area, say at state level or regional level, then you go for those newspaper which are circulated in the region or in the state. And in some time, if national level material required, say purchase of big transformer of MVA capacity, then you have to go for even for the national tenders in which the big companies are participated. Sometimes some imported items are also required in the work. Imported materials are required. In that case, you go for global tender. So that tender will be all over world, and whatever material you are required for your work, this is obtained from the other country, so you can obtain through the global tender. So these are the different type of tenders which are prepared their document according to the conditions whatever we have mentioned for our work, and according to nature of work, whatever type of work we have to perform, we have to give all the tenders documents prepared according to those specification and conditions of the site. So there is a duration also mentioned. Some work required to be complete in 1 year, some work required to be complete in 6 months, some big project they require to complete in 2 years time also. So time limit also to be maintained in the tender document. So whenever we prepare practically tender document, then I will show you that what are the conditions are there, whatever rules and regulation of state government which are taken into account for the purpose of safety of all the work properly done, and there is a to avoid any dispute with the contractor and the agency of work. We have to mention certain rules and regulation, and finally whatever order given by the engineer in charge of the work, that order will be the final which is to be bind on the contractor, whether it is written in the contract document or not. Finally there is a word written that every decision which is taken by the engineer in charge of the work, that decision is to be followed by the contractor, and he is bound to follow that particular instruction given by the engineer in charge. So normally this one line, it is at the last of the tender document, it remark is given like this, so that if any dispute during the work, that can be solved at the point. Similarly, some jurisdiction is also there. If some legal problem is there in the tender document, so we have to also mention the jurisdiction of the legal proceedings. So in legal proceedings, you should mention the area of the site. Suppose work is going on in the Indore city, so we have to jurisdiction of the Indore city. So whatever type of legal problem will come, then contractor and the authority may go to the courts available in the Indore. So there is a bench of High Court in Indore, so that matter can be discussed in the High Court or the Session Courts. So jurisdiction of the legal proceeding also should be mentioned in the documents, so that there will be no dispute. Otherwise what happen, suppose contractor is living in Jabalpur and is working at Indore, and if some problems will come, then it will be difficult to come that person from Jabalpur to Indore for the purpose of attending court dates. So in that case, the authority mentioned that the jurisdiction for the any type of legal problem which will be near to the site of the work. So in the same site of work you can be available, and the contractor should contact in that site place. So these are the certain conditions I have mentioned, in which tender documents which is I have as I told you, the 20 to 25 pages are there, in which all details are given according to our conditions, technical details, working details, executing details, legal details, payment details. These all type of details are given in the tender documents, and there is a certain date of opening of the tender. It is also given mentioned in the the tender notice. Normally 15 days time is given, sometime 1 month time is given for submitting the tender by the tenderer, means who are interested to take part in tender. So this time limit is also mentioned in the tender notice. So similarly, if we go for the quotations, then quotations, this is by inquiry form. It is not a tender to be published in the newspaper or on the e-network, but this is a simple way in which for the small work we prepare an inquiry form in which the limited number of material required and the cost of the work or project cost is also within less than say 5 lakh rupees. So we will not go for the tender notice in the newspaper or e-tendering. We go for the quotations. So at least 3 quotations we invite from the local persons who are doing that type of work, and we compare these quotations with the help of a format. This format I will provide on your YouTube, your WhatsApp group. The tender document, how to prepare, then what is the comparative statement, its pro forma and pro forma of estimate, that I will provide on the WhatsApp group on which this lecture I will post. So in the quotations calling, what happen, minimum 3 quotations we required, and according to rates given in the quotation, according to our specification, whatever the lowest rate given by out of 3, minimum 3 quotations are necessary to be entertained. So whatever quotation which is lowest one, say I want to purchase 1.5 square mm copper wire for the wiring, and it is given 100-meter coil is there. So if one contractor, one quotation giving a rate of this coil is 750 rupees, one contractor or supplier is giving this cost is 850 rupees, and one is given 900 rupees for the same specification and same brand, or rather same approved brand. So we have to take the lowest rate of that material. So 700 cost is the lowest in that, because one is 700, another is 850, and third one is 900. So we are having the lowest cost is 700. So you can select only that particular quotation which is giving the lowest cost of the material, but you don't compromise with the specification or the quality of material. ऐसा नहीं कि वो सस्ता दे दे और सब स्टैंडर्ड माल दे दे, तो आपको उसमें मेंशन करना पड़ेगा मेक, मैन्युफैक्चर, इक्विवेलेंट मैन्युफैक्चर्स आपको लेना पड़ेंगे। जैसे फिनोलेक्स का वायर आता है, बालाजी का वायर आता है, और केप मेक आता है, ऐसे 3-4 स्टैंडर्ड मेक, एंकर का आता है, हेवल्स का आता है. So these are the standard companies, so which are manufacturing almost equal specification and equal quality material. So you compare within that particular limit. So according to that, if you do, then there will be no problem, and the compromise will be there in the cost within the limit of your quotations. So quotations, always 3 quotations are compared, and there is a particular pro forma is there in which serial number, name of item with specification, the name of the firm. They suppose there are 3 firms, firms A, B, C, D. So there are 3 columns for 3 firms are there. Then whatever rate quoted by them, it is written in that against the name of the item, and then you compare the rate. So suppose first item is 1.5 square mm copper wire. So you one is given, suppose Messrs A given 700 rupees, Messrs B given 850 rupees, and Messrs C is given 900 rupees. So you go for first A because he has given 700 rupees. So you just by reading you encircle that particular rate, so it is final for your purchase. Similarly, number of items are there in a particular estimate. Normally number of items varies from 18 numbers to 25 numbers. This much items required for any electrical installation work. When we take actual estimate, then I will show you that how many items are there, and according to that how we can prepare the comparative statement format with the help of quotations Similarly, we can how we prepare the estimate pro forma. Estimate pro forma is also very simple. सीरियल नंबर, नेम ऑफ आइटम, ऐसे कॉलम वर्टिकल आप खींच लेंगे तो सीरियल नंबर, नेम ऑफ आइटम विथ स्पेसिफिकेशन, देन यूनिट, उसके यूनिट मीटर में है, नंबर में है, केजी में है, जो भी यूनिट हो। फिर यूनिट के बाद आप उसकी क्वांटिटी लिखेंगे और क्वांटिटी के बाद आपको रेट लिखना है और रेट के बाद अमाउंट लिखना है। तो क्वांटिटी मल्टीप्लाई बाय रेट, इट विल गो द अमाउंट। सपोज यू हैव टू परचेज 3 कॉइल्स, 1 कॉइल आप 700, सो यू रिक्वायर 3 कॉइल। सो क्वांटिटी में 3 लिखेंगे, रेट में 700 लिखेंगे, तो अमाउंट कितना आएगा? 2100 रुपये। तो 2100 रुपये विल बी देयर एंड द लास्ट कॉलम विल बी द रिमार्क कॉलम। In remark column there is some specification difference is there or some condition mentioned by the contractor or the quotations conditions are there, then you can write in the remark column. Suppose किसी ने लिख दिया कि मेरे को 50% एडवांस पेमेंट चाहिए, तो ये आपको वो कोटेशन के जो भी कंपेरेटिव स्टेटमेंट का प्रोफार्मा रहेगा उसके रिमार्क कॉलम में आपको लिखना पड़ेगा। सिमिलरली इन एस्टीमेट प्रिपरेशन है उसमें आपकी कोई कंडीशन अगर आप डाल रहे हैं कि मटेरियल शुड बी ट्रांसपोर्टेड टू द साइट ऑफ वर्क, दैट रिसीव द मटेरियल डेस्टिनेशन यू हैव टू मेंशन, तो वो आप रिमार्क कॉलम में डाल सकते हैं। तो ये प्रोफार्मे मैं आपको व्हाट्सएप ग्रुप पे डाल दूंगा, दोनों प्रोफार्मे, एस्टीमेट के प्रोफार्मे और कंपैरेटिव स्टेटमेंट के प्रोफार्मे। सो दिस फिनिशेस योर द फर्स्ट टॉपिक इन विच वट एवर कंटेंट इज गिवन इन द लर्निंग आउटकम 1 that I have completed today. Next time I will take the second topic, whatever content of that. Thank you very much.